In his submission, Aliko Dangote is worried about the inadequate and skilled workforce in the country, which is a challenge to offering employment.
For this next generation to thrive as adults and drive economic progress, we need to invest in their health and well-being and in their ability to learn and apply new skills in an ever-changing global economy. That, at its core, is what we mean by human capital: healthy and productive and well-educated young youth who are then enabled to succeed, lift up themselves and their families, and contribute to society through their own ingenuity. As a business leader, it is my responsibility to offer jobs and opportunities, but I can only do that when people themselves are healthy and have the basic skills. And as a philanthropist and development expert, I have seen firsthand and critical gaps and proven interventions that can help set those young people up for success, especially the poorest. A key example is nutrition, a primary focus for the Dangote Foundation. Today, one of the biggest factors undermining our progress is malnutrition. Poor nutrition prevents children from realizing their full potential, stunting not only their physical and intellectual growth, but also their educational and employment opportunities. As a business leader, I feel the consequences of malnutrition. An inadequate skilled workforce is a constraint to my businesses. And again, as a philanthropist and development expert, it is the kind of challenge I'm committed to help solve.
The expanded NEC meeting closes in Abuja, but another session of youth opens in Lagos. The session is organized by Budget and supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation with the theme, Investing in the People of Nigeria. Youth on their own demand that the government swings into action and rescue the nation's youth from total oblivion and obscurity.
There was a quote that says we can have roads, we can have ports, but we can't scale that without investing in the skilled people of Nigeria. And you have some wonderful panelists today. And it's clear that also that if we put more money in education, in health, we'll get the GDP of Nigeria to rise by a factor that we can't imagine. But what we have seen is politicians are more gyrated to invest more in roads, schools, and in things that would just look much more glamorous for the society. Now we are saying let's put more money in education, let's put more money in curriculum development, let's put more money in health, in infrastructure, especially at the primary healthcare level. That's what can actually change Nigeria and make us a better place to live. There's also some conversation about our domestic resource mobilization, that it is grossly weak. Nigeria's tax to GDP is less than 6%, with the worst in the world, worse than third countries like Afghanistan and South Sudan. And the conversation is that if we even move to Bangladesh, the second to the lowest in the world, we'll be adding $18 billion to our revenue model. And we have enough money to invest in Nigeria. There's also a conversation around transparency and accountability that reduce the leakages and also the gaps where also undermine public revenues.
According to Debola Williams, co-founder of Red Media, it's time for government at all levels to prioritize human capital development.
If you invest in health, education, and opportunities, the human capital we are talking about today, then they will lay the foundation for sustained prosperity. If you don't, however, then it is very important to recognize that there will be a sharp limit on how much the country can grow. That was a quote from the world's richest man, Bill Gates, last week at the expanded National Economic Council meeting chaired by the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in Abuja. But human capital We're not referring to individuals themselves, but the knowledge and skills they possess that enable them to create value in the global economic system. Now, this requires investment, both by the individuals, private sector, government of the day, and everyone across board.
Speaker after speaker take turns to emphasize more on how human capital development is crucial to a nation's growth and development.
Education cannot happen in an atmosphere of insecurity. So as an example, in the states that have been under the Boko Haram curse for a long time, enrollment rates in schools have fallen. No, they've not fallen, they've plummeted. There's a difference. And it's really sad, because that's a 20-year problem.
Investing in healthcare is not just about buying MRI machines or buying CT scans. It's investing in the people, the health professionals. Science research and development is important.
If I ask this question, how many of us here have a PVC? How many of us have a PVC? You find out that the number is minimal. So what is the way forward? What we can do is this. If we have an issue where a political leader isn't getting it right, we need to put ourselves together and send him out of that place.
As at the end of 2016, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation had given away $41.3 billion in grants and currently has the largest endowment of any private foundation in the U.S. Philanthropy is now the core of Gates' life. He and his wife, Melinda, have endowed a foundation with more than $87.9 billion to support philanthropic initiatives in the areas of global health and learning, with the hope that in the 21st century, advances in these critical areas will be available for all people. And Nigeria is not an exception.